Okay, so the first thing that you have to do is just get your SVG in here. I don't have one that I'm using, so I'm just gonna make a circle. It's a little too big, so do about that big. Because it's a applique, you don't need any fill, so it's just about the stroke. For the first layer, I just like to set it to 3 millimeters just to have it be the right size, everything's right, and just a solid line so that way the digitizer knows that it's a satin stitch. Next, you're just going to duplicate the layer twice. So on the bottom, you want your satin stitch, and then you want your tack down, and then you want the placement stitch. So it's not going to be in this order once we're done, but for the tack down, this path is going to be, it has to be a different color. It doesn't have to be, just a little easier to tell if it's a different color. And then it needs to be a dashed line, and I like to set it to 1 pixel. And then for the placement stitch, we're going to do the exact same thing. 1 pixel, dashed line, and a different color. So now if we look at it, it's all overlapping. So you can do that. There's no problems doing that. But what I like to do is I like to make the placement stitch just a little bit bigger while still fitting in the satin, and the tack down to be just a little smaller, just like that. So now that's the file setup. So we want to order it. So we want placement all the way on the bottom. It's easier just to placement on the bottom, then tack down, then satin. So we have all of our layers. So now if we just select the tack down and placement layers, we go to Inkstitch and params. These are the settings that I've just been using when I use it. The running stitch length is the only thing that really matters for this, and 2.5 should be fine if you want. Because it's not super important, we can move it up to 3.5 actually. It doesn't really matter for this, but the most important thing is that it's a running stitch and it repeats once. So you can just press apply and quit. And then the satin stitch is similar, and you just go to params on it. And for this one, it's gonna say running stitch, but you want to change that to zigzag. Oops, wait, all 3 of them were selected. So you just want just this path. Make sure that when you go to params, it's only applied to this one object. So now if we change it to zigzag stitch, it should look just like that. It's kind of a lot of stitches, so I'm just going to increase this to like 0.7. Yeah, that's fine. It's still kind of a lot, but it's okay. You can play with it for your own designs. And that should be it. So to save an Inkstitch file, you just save a copy of it. Doesn't matter what you call it, but it has to be a .pes file. So if we look at that now in PE Designer 11, just to have a more realistic view of the stitches, it should be right. So it's satin on top with the other layers underneath. And if we just watch it through, that's way too fast. If we watch it through, it makes all the outline and placement, and then it goes over it with satin. So that's exactly what we want, and it should be good to go. Yeah, perfect.